Dear children, welcome to the last session of the chapter 2 Land, Soil, Water, Natural Vegetation and Wildlife. We are in the topic of natural vegetation and wildlife. In the earlier session, we have done our introductory part in which we have studied regarding the ecosystem, the biosphere, the natural vegetation. Likewise, in this session, we will be discussing about the various types of natural vegetation which are available, the reason behind such kind of variation. Moreover, we will be studying that as the natural vegetation is used for so many things and even the wildlife also, how it is reducing in its number. That means the dangers or the threats to the natural vegetation and wildlife. And as this is an important resource, we even have to save it for the future generation, and hence we have to discuss, or we will be discussing, the conservation techniques too. So let's begin with our session for today. Natural vegetation. In the last session, as I gave you the meaning, natural vegetation, it means the vegetation which grows naturally, without any human aid or without any human help. Human interference is not required. So if something is going naturally, that means what will happen? According to the climate, according to the soil, according to the fertility, according to the relief, everything which is available over there, whatever kind of vegetation will grow over there, that will be called as the natural vegetation. And as we all are aware that it is not same everywhere, it is different. We have tundra regions, a very different climate. We have deserts, a very different climate and all. We have the places like Amazon and all where it is again a different climate. So everywhere, even the natural vegetation and related wildlife, it differs. And that only we have called as the different ecosystem, that every place is having a different climate, hydrosphere, lithosphere, biosphere, likewise, and atmosphere. So with this different combination, we get different types of forests also, or the vegetation also. Now in these types of vegetation, which are the main types of vegetation? You will get either forests, then we find the grasslands, and we get the desertic scrubs and shrubs. Here, as I have told you, we include the cold deserts also and the hot deserts also. So this is a variety is there. Now forests, grasslands and deserts, all are having different climatic conditions, and within them also there are differences are there. So let's begin with the forest. You have studied all these, but we will be just seeing them again. In the forest also you get rainforest which are throughout the year evergreen. They are also called as evergreen forest. We have the deciduous forest. Deciduous, it means the one which will shed their leaves once in a year in the dry season. They are different types of forest. You have temperate evergreen and temperate deciduous. Now tropical and temperate regions, these two are different regions are these. Tropical regions, they are more closer to the equator, whereas the temperate region, they are away from the equator. And because of that, the equatorial regions, whichever are there, they are more hot and they show different type of forest and the climate. Whereas temperate region, they are having different type of forest and the climate. Like if I want to give you the example, Amazon is a tropical rainforest. But if I go with the coniferous forest and all, they are also evergreen. But coniferous forest, will they found near the equator? No. They will be found in the temperate region. So in the temperate region, we get the coniferous evergreen trees. Next, Mediterranean forests are there. Mediterranean is a region in which a different type of climatic conditions are there. So there are different vegetations are there. As you have studied earlier also, mostly citrus fruits, they grow in this region. We have another coniferous forest which are generally found in the tundra and the other places. We have the grasslands, two types of grasslands, temperate grasslands and the tropical grasslands. Even this you have studied earlier. Tropical grasslands you have studied, if you remember. Prairies you have studied, and velds you have studied, right? So prairies for the tropical grasslands, and velds also you have studied for the temperate grasslands. And they are different. Height wise they are different, color wise they are different, density wise they are different. We have tropical deserts and tundra regions, that means the cold deserts are there. So hot deserts and the cold deserts, these are the two different types of deserts. Now in all these you find the variety is there. Natural vegetation, plants are also different, and even the animals are also different. Now these are all the variety of forest, and in the last session we have seen how the forest and wildlife, they are so much useful to us, and human beings are constantly using them. And in this use itself, actually what is happening, we are damaging them. So what are those dangers by which the forest and wildlife is reducing in their number, and every day or almost every year we find that so many plant species and animal species, they are either becoming endangered or vulnerable, or few of them though they are getting extinct also. Now why should this happen? So the reasons are mainly, first of all, climate change. Now climate change is one of the reason of human interference only. We are having, or we are creating so much of pollution that global warming, the global temperatures have increased, and as a result the plants and animals, they are dying. A very good example of this we are having, that is polar regions or the polar animals. As the temperature has increased, the ice caps, the polar regions, the Antarctica ice and all, it is melting. And because of that, the animals which are staying over there, they are also dying, because they generally survive in the very cold temperatures and in the snowy regions. But it is all getting converted into the water. Water level is rising in the oceans. So these climate changes are affecting many places. Human actions, there are many human actions. We can have the constructional work, we can have the food or the fodder collection work. So in that, so many actions are there. Transportation we do, constructions we do, mining we do in the forest. So because of that, the plants and animals, they are dying. Deforestation is an action by which the plants we are cutting. The reason can be, as I discussed earlier, many. It can be because you have to construct something over there, because you want to construct a road in that forest and all, if you want to construct a dam on that, if you want to use the region for the mine that is taking out the minerals and all. So deforestation will be done, and as a result the plants and animals will be losing their habitat, they will not get their place to live. Soil erosion, because the heavy winds are there, sometimes the very heavy floods are there, so soil is getting eroded and plants are not surviving many. Lots of constructional activities, as it is getting repeated, as I discussed, it is discussed in the textbook, this is written. And the forest fire. Now forest fire can be natural also, and forest fire can be man-made also. So in the forest fire, huge destruction occur. If you remember, if you are very much aware regarding the recent issues and all, the recent forest fires we had in Australia, if you remember, so many animals and plants, they died, and it was a huge forest fire. So that was the biggest destruction to the natural vegetation and the wildlife. Some more threats are there. Tsunami in 2004 in India, we got tsunami, and as a result the coastal region, all the plants, animals, vegetation, they all got destroyed. Landslides in the mountainous region. If you remember Kedarnath, we have our history in which the Kedarnath floods and all, they are very much famous, or we know how how devastation it was actually. So this was also a reason that how the lands, natural vegetation and wildlife, they are getting destructed. Hunting and poaching, this is important human action which has reduced the natural vegetation and wildlife to a bigger extent, especially the wildlife actually. Hunting and poaching, they do just for getting their skin, getting the teeth. Like you all are aware that in order to elephant teeth, so much important and they are highly in demand in the market. But in order to get the teeth, they kill the whole animal. They have to kill. So likewise, just for some our personal benefits, there are many people who are killing and using them for the trade. So likewise, these are the different threats for the forest and wildlife. Now, how to conserve them? What are the conservation actions taken by the government? So the very first action the government has taken, they have started national parks, wildlife sanctuaries, biosphere reserves to protect the natural vegetation and wildlife. Now these are all different terms in terms in which they have different security level also. Like national parks, they were made because earlier we were having the concept of zoos where the animals were kept in cages and all. Now also most of them are closed, but whichever are older, they wherever possible they have tried to convert them into the more natural surrounding. So national parks they have opened, or the forested region only they are declaring as the national parks, which are open for human beings also for visiting, but then they are having the special areas. They don't open the whole forest, they have kept secluded places for the variety of animals in them. Wildlife sanctuaries in which protection level is very higher. Biosphere reserves you will find. Now biosphere, it means in that region whichever animals are special, like Tundra region, Rajasthan region, Sundarban region, whichever animals are specially over there only, plants and animals, they will be taken care more and their regeneration will be made possible so that their number will increase actually. Then you have next conservation of creeks, lakes and wetlands. Creeks, lakes and wetlands, like Siberian cranes and all, they are arriving on the Gujarat coastline. That is a wetland. So that is a special thing about India. So then they have started protecting these kind of places. Creeks, it means the small rivulets, small rivers actually. Then they have put a ban on indiscriminate killing of hunting and poaching also. Awareness programs government has started, such as forestry, social forestry and Van Mahotsav. Social forestry, it means you should grow plants in the societies, in the region, in the places, or mainly tree plantation. Van Mahotsav also tree plantation, which we generally celebrate in these July month only when the rainy season. So first 2 weeks of July we celebrate the Van Mahotsav at the regional and community level also. Some more efforts encouraging the students for watching birds and visiting nature camps, like taking to the forest, developing interest in the bird watching and developing interest in the wildlife also. Because if you have interest, if you have care, you will find it more convenient to work for them. At last, at international level, the people has taken the effort. They have made CITES, CITES, which is an international convention. It's an international organization, and they are trying to conserve the various species of plants and animals and even the birds. They have tried their level best to collect all the samples of all the species and plants and animals in their convention, so that they can grow them in number and there will not be total extinct of any animal. So this was regarding the conservation techniques. Here we end with the session, and in the next session we will be discussing the question and answers. Thank you.